Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A hadith is a report of the sayings, the doings, and the taqarir of the Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And a taqrir is an event whereby uh, some of the companions or any one of the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, did an action and the Prophet, peace be upon him, maintained silence. This is known as a taqrir, and the plural of taqrir is taqarir. So the sayings, the doings, and the taqarir of the Prophet, peace be upon him, are referred to as hadith. Now the hadith, or a report of the sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, has two parts: the chain of narration and the text. The chain of narration is called the sanad, and the text is called the matan in Arabic. Sanad is also called isnad, and its plural is asanid. Whether a hadith is authentic or not depends upon the quality of the sanad. There is a chain of transmission. Each of the in the chain of the transmission, each reporter is known as a rawi, and the authenticity of the hadith is checked on the based on the fact that whether all the rawis of the hadith are authentic or not. In order to check the authenticity of a particular rawi, you have to check that whether he is adil, whether he is hafiz, whether he is balig, and whether he is aqil. Hafiz means that he has sufficient memory power, that he can remember the words of the Prophet, peace be upon him, as they have been said by the Prophet, peace be upon him, verbatim. And he should not change the words. If he narrates by changing the words, he becomes a mudallis, and the act is known as tadlis. He no longer remains a sikka ravi, that is an authentic ravi. So in order for him to be a sikka ravi, he should be hafiz, that is, he should narrate verbatim as the Prophet, peace be upon him, has said the hadith. The second thing that he needs to be sikka is he should be adil, that is, his actions and deeds should be good. They should be as Islam wants the actions of people to be. So he should be adil comes from the root word adl, which means justice. So his actions should be based on justice. He should not be a wild person. He should not be a bad person. He should not his deeds should not be bad. He should not be a committer of sins, and his deeds should not be evil. This is the criterion. This is the second criterion of the judgment of the rawis of hadith, that the rawi should not be gair adil, that is, they should be adil. The third thing is that he should be baligh, that is, he should be an adult, because children cannot remember everything verbatim, or they cannot understand the pros and cons of delicate matters. That's why the third condition that has been kept by the muhaddisun is that the rawi should be baligh, and the fourth condition is that he should be aqil. Aqil means that he should not be mad, he should not be insane, he should be a normal person. That is what is the meaning of aqil. If all the conditions are fulfilled, that all the rawis are baligh, aqil, and baligh, aqil, and hafiz, and adil, then the next step that is to be done is to check whether the date of births and the date of deaths of the rawis coincide or not. Suppose the rawi reports from another rawi on the top of the letter and says that I heard from this man, and when their dates of birth are checked, the dates of birth do not overlap. that means that he has not heard from that man, so that this hadith becomes zaif or not authentic. So after doing this, if all the dates of births of all the ravis and dates of deaths and dates of births of all the ravis coincide, then the sanad becomes continuous or muttasil. So when the sanad becomes continuous, then we have a muttasil hadith with authentic ravis. Now we have to see where the hadith reaches. If the hadith reaches to Prophet, then it is marfu. If the hadith reaches only to the Sahabi, then it is mursal. And if there is a break in the hadith, it is munqata. Munqata hadith, mursal hadith, these are the categories of zaif hadiths. Only a marfu muttasil hadith with all the narrators being sikka and the dates of death and the dates of birth of all the ravis overlapping, that hadith is sahih, and sahih is authentic hadith. There are other types of hadith also. For example, mutawatir. The mutawatir hadith is one which has been reported by such great number of people and such great number of isnads that it is impossible to think that all those people may have agreed upon a lie. So mashhur hadith is a hadith which has many sanads, but not as many as in the case of mutawatir hadith. Zaif hadith has many types. For example, one is due to tadlis, which we have referred to earlier, that is changing the words while keeping the meaning same, that is tadlis. If a mudallis, that is a reporter who does tadlis, reports by an, that is there is a report from the so and so ravi, that is he reports by an, that is there is a report from so and so ravi, then the hadith becomes zaif. It no longer remains a sahih hadith. So this was a brief introduction of what a hadith is and what is a sahih hadith and what is a zaif hadith. Another category of the hadith is known as hasan. Hasan hadith is a hadith in which one of the ravis has in which the hifz of one of the ravis is weaker, but the hifz is not weak to such an extent that the hadith becomes a zaif. Or hasan is any other hadith which is not sahih but does not have the defects of that kind which are present in zaif hadith. A hasan hadith and a sahih hadith are hujjat, that is proof. They are acceptable as a proof. Zaif hadith is not acceptable as a proof, except in some cases where there is only zaif hadith in a chapter. If in a chapter there is only zaif hadith, then it is acceptable. If there are other hadith, then it is not acceptable. This is the opinion of Abu Dawud and Imam Ahmad rahimahumullah. The zaif hadith has many types. For example, munqata, in which the sanad has cut, maktub, or others like mursal, in which reads only the sahabi, or in there are many other kinds. For example, one of the ravis is a liar, then the hadith becomes a mawzu hadith. Mawzu means fabricated. Mawzu is the lowest degree in a hadith. Mawzu is the lowest hadith of the lowest degree, so it is not acceptable at all. It is there is a wajah or fabricator in the chain of transmission. So he makes this hadith mawzu, that's fabricated. This fabricated hadith is not acceptable under any circumstances. This is in contrast to the zaif hadith, which can be acceptable under some circumstances. So a zaif hadith has some defects, but a mawzu hadith is unacceptable totally. It has been just fabricated by somebody. So these are the kinds of hadiths. Hope we will continue this thing in the future, inshallah.